Bill Belichick went to Annapolis High School.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So my athletic director, who just retired, who was also my high school coach, his best.
לא, שומעים אותו. לא? אוקיי. כרגע לא שומעים אותו. הטיימר להתחיל.
Good evening from the Kraft Sports Complex in Jerusalem, Israel. Tonight on YouTube, it's the first game of the 2019 European Women's Lacrosse Championship. The first game out of 59 coming your way over the next 10 days. Israel, the home team, they'll take on Germany in the very first game on a wonderful night here just outside the Dead Sea. Good evening and welcome. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. I'll be bringing you the majority of the coverage this week, and joined now by Stephanie Samaras-Matsarias. She's the head coach of the Greek developmental team that is also in here into this week's events with a developmental program, and she's going to be helping me as an analyst all throughout. Right now, let's pause for the playing of both countries' national anthems, starting with Germany, followed by Israel. Once again, the national anthems of Germany and Israel as we're moments away from the first game of 59 from the 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship. Tonight from Jerusalem, a special night. This will be the opening game. It was preceded by a half-hour-long opening ceremony with the 16 nations all represented, as well as some other developmental teams that are also participating in a festival tournament. Once again, with Steffi Samaras Matsiaris, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, bringing you the play-by-play tonight on YouTube with several select games that will be picked up by the Olympic Channel as well as our YouTube streams. Well, Steffi, great to be here. It's a comfortable night. Israel has looked forward to this game for a long time. It's their first European appearance. They have several players with American High Division I NCAA backgrounds. Germany has an experienced team, too, as they're building with new coach Shelby Davis.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see what both teams can bring. Germany's been around for definitely a long time. Israel, super pumped. I was lucky to watch them practice the past couple of days over in Netanya, and they're definitely going to bring some heat tonight. It's going to be fun.
The head coach of Israel is really excited. Jana Kaufman, who played collegiately at Goucher College in Maryland. She was a collegiate goalkeeper, and she feels she has a unique and dynamic approach to offense. This is a 6-on-6, so we'll see how much her team is clicking. She's just as anxious as we are to see how well her team will perform, particularly in the offensive end immediately.
Yeah, I definitely think with the 6-on-6, you're going to see a lot more space that girls are going to be able to use to make their one-on-one moves, get their defenders out of position. It'll be really interesting to see what they can do now, and it's going to be, you know, potentially even a little bit more like men's lacrosse.
Yep, that's what the 6-on-6 points out to. It's officially 10-on-10, including the goaltenders. It's in the NCAA Division I ranks and down to the high school ranks. In the States, it's 11-on-11. So typically you'll see 4 low attack, 3 midfielders, 4 low D. In this case, it's just like a men's alignment, 3 low attack, 3 midfielders, and 3 low defensemen. 6 across in the restraining line setup when we're in the half field. The draw control setup is still a 3-on-3. These will be 15-minute running quarters. They will not stop on any goals, and there won't be any water breaks during this one. But it's the first game out of 59 that will come your way. Tomorrow, there'll be games beginning at 10:40 a.m. with Ireland taking on England. 5 more will follow that, so it's an exciting week. Virtually all the teams, Steffi, went out today to Jerusalem and also partaked in guided tours of the Last Supper room, of the Western Wall. So it's been a long day for everybody, the opening ceremonies, but they're ready here, Israel and Germany. So that's all part of not just lacrosse, but the cultural experience and to growing this sport beyond the places that it's currently played.
It was absolutely amazing to be able to see the old city of Jerusalem. We got to see the Holy Grail, the Western Wall, and I think that, you know, Germany and Israel having to now change their perspective and focus on the first game of the tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if one team came out maybe a little bit stronger than the other. Also, get some of those butterflies out of their stomachs, so that'll be really interesting.
Israel only has 3 non-passport players. They have developmental teams, and Coach Jana Kaufman feels they have great unselfish superstars that have been bringing along 7 native Israelites, including 3 that are in the Israeli army or on their, one is on her way to the army too, a 4th. So she's anxious to see how that will mix in. And for Germany coach Shelby Davis, she played collegiately at Old Dominion. She's a native of Central New York and Horseheads High School, just south of Syracuse. She thinks that they have some of the horses it takes to play at this level, including a number of veterans and her goalie, Britta Goldenstein. She has already played in 2 European Championships and 2 World Cups, so she is among the most experienced goalies out of the 16 here. We'll see how Britta may hold up against the Israeli attack.
Yeah, especially with Jana, what Jana's trying to do, it'll be interesting to see. She got to see a lot of great competition in the past. Sarah Meisenberg from Israel and Mac McDonough from Israel as well. I think they're going to be able to bring something that that Israel hasn't seen before, which is experience. Sarah has been over in Israel helping to build this program for a lot of years now, and I can't wait to see her. I just happened to grow up with her, so I can't wait to see her, fulfill something that she's been working so hard for.
The two teams have already gone through the coin toss and the referee meeting, so we're just about ready to go. As you might imagine, there's a good crowd here following the opening ceremonies and to see the host country Israel play in their first game in a European Championship. And the way the pecking order appears lined up, England is a favorite along with Wales and Scotland, but Israel fits into that top four by most prognosticators, the people you talk to and the observers here. Now the question is, can Israel surpass that and really make this particularly special? Israel takes the field there in the white on white with blue numbers and trim. Germany in the black on black with yellow trim, and Deutschland across the front. For Israel, Mac McDonough, who lives in Israel now, who played at Division I Jacksonville University. She's their main draw controller. Tessa Helf, who goes back to the U19s in 2011 with Germany. She's one of their 4 great veterans that's been around nearly a decade. She played 1 year with Durham University in England. She is the main draw controller for Germany. With a cool breeze coming off the sea, and we are underway in the 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship from Jerusalem on opening night. And the first ground ball is a hotly contested one, and we'll get the ball pointed to Germany. Hold on a moment. The officials had pointed that way. Yes, indeed it is Israel moving it from right to left. So in this offense, as Jana Kaufman described, they want to slow it down and play very wide. And she has been spending about the last 6 months of her life, Steffi, watching a ton of box lacrosse, particularly NLL games. She's attended a lot of Georgia Swarm games. So this is a bit of an experiment and something unique that Germany, who opens up in a man-to-man, will have to adjust to.
It's interesting that you bring up box lacrosse because that's something that has been talked about a lot, not only around World Lacrosse with FIL changing their name, but a lot of the women's teams. You see in the U.S., you see Stony Brook actually taking their women's team and playing box lacrosse. I've heard the rumblings of it around here so far in the past 3 days, so it'll be fun to see some of that grinding just like they do inside the stadiums, especially up in Canada. I wouldn't be surprised if Jana brings a lot of the Canadian side of box lacrosse into this game.
And she's really excited about the strategy and the time she's put in as Allison Kerwin had the pass come through her on the crease, and back behind, it's settled again for Israel. There is no shot clock, as back behind Rachel Rosen, going to be a junior at Penn State, a star out of Long Island's Port Washington High School. Here is Allison Kerwin, now handling number 11. As she fakes the drop-off pass, down to the crease, catch is made, and the finish. Tough catch and cradle, Emily Resnick, a product out of Syracuse. She's able to finish on the sneak, on the tough catch, and Israel converts on their opening possession.
Israel's doing a really good job of moving off ball, and that's how that goal was created there. And then a great little sort of decoy on the crease with the finish. And not only that, it almost was a bit of an old school finish there with the backhand. So I'm pretty pumped about this. This is really fun. This is something that's really new for me. I haven't been at the European Championship since 2000. So I'm really excited about this.
Emily Resnick, as Jana Kaufman cites, she has terrific stick skills, allowing her to make that tough catch. Allison Kerwin, James Madison product, class of 2015 in Harrisburg, Virginia, on the assist. Draw control, Tessa Helf. This is a German side, Steffi, that has a lot of height to offer in certain spots, and Helf particularly on the draw control goes about 5'9", and she's a lefty draw controller and a lefty midfielder, something that really excites Germany's coach Shelby Davis about the matchup problems she could provide in that draw circle.
Height on the draw is probably one of the most important things that that specializes that position for the sport of women's lacrosse. And the fact that she's a lefty taking it, the ability to draw to yourself is much easier when you're a lefty because you can pull instead of push. And the 50-50 ball off of the draw is, in my opinion, one of the most important aspects of the game.
Alexandra Friedman, a product out of Middlebury College in Vermont, gets the start tonight for Israel. She spent the last year and a half here working with the Israeli Lacrosse Foundation, growing the game. She has a ton of responsibilities all day and night, so she gets the honor of this first opportunity. We'll see if Dylan Teitelbaum may play the second half. A trail check to the top, and a loose ground ball. Health will come up with it to preserve the possession for Germany as it's a bit unsettled. Eula Neubauer able to settle it. The split dodge, Laura Koshorek takes the shot, and backup will keep it with Team Germany.
You know, Israel's defense is coming out really aggressive right now, and I don't know if Germany was expecting that. So I'm going to look to see them do hopefully a setup play from behind.
The defense for Israel starts in a man-to-man down low, but Janet Kaufman is excited about a bit of the hybrid zone, too, that she's developed. As up top, Anna Blanc, who's also been with Germany 17 in black since 2011, and the U19s. So there is a nice group of about 5 veterans. Draw and dump to the crease. Lisa Neuber couldn't handle the pass, though. And inside the 8-meter, Israel looks to dig it out, and they do. They come up with a defensive end ground ball, and the pickup from Sarah Meisenberg out of Franklin and Marshall in Pennsylvania. It's forced ahead by Manin, but then thrown away out of the reach of Rachel Rosen, and the Israeli turnover.
I really like what Germany was trying to do there, running the two-man game against Israel. Especially if Germany's able to spread the field. So it'll be great to see them do that again.
The Israeli ride, Mac McDonough with the takeaway. And McDonough will drop it back, Olivia Manin. And the pass read well and intercepted. Fine play made by Germany defensively as they look for the clearance. That's Miriam Rockroar. This is her first appearance for Team Germany in a national event as she comes up with the takeaway. And out top it is settled for Anna Blanc with Germany offensively. As we have a player in the crease down low against Israel. And meanwhile for Germany, you have a first-time head coach in Shelby Davis. But they spent the month of October 2018, Steffi, playing 4 games in a United States tour against NCAA Division I programs. And not just any. Villanova, Old Dominion, Shelby's alma mater, George Mason, and Drexel. And they feel they got a lot out of that in terms of dealing with the speed and pace of play that the higher level teams can show at the European and/or World Championship someday.
Definitely. You know, George Mason and Drexel, just off the top of my head, those are 2 teams that are really, really scrappy, probably because of their 2 head coaches were those types of players. So it'd be great to see Germany not get into a ping-pong match with Israel, because that could go potentially the wrong way. Unless they have, you know, the speed to be able to play that type of style, I don't see that out of Germany.
Lisa Neuber turned down the free position. Swung back outside, and Germany is going to rescue this possession with the scoop from Laura Koshorek. And she is their nonstop two-way midi. Anna Blanc. And they love to dodge through Tessa Helf here. And Helf, can she get to her left hand on the sweep across? Good, well-timed check to knock it free by Emily Resnick. And Resnick comes up with another Israeli takeaway.
You know, Germany has run everything from up top before. They haven't run any set plays from behind. And Israel is doing a great job of running sort of this hybrid zone, which becomes a trap on the elbow of the 8-meter. And they're taking the ball away a lot, which is going to be great for them because hopefully they can produce in their offensive end.
7.5 to go, opening quarter, 1-0 Israel. Emily Resnick. A goal in the first possession from Allison Kerwin. As we get the foul behind, as Israel will keep it. Israel has been together a little bit longer this week than the other teams. Most of the team got here July 1st, and then several others trickled in around July 11th. Only one arrived yesterday, Sunday night. So Israel has had the good bulk of their team together for, let's say, about 6 practices, Steffi. We'll see how much that might benefit them, particularly in the first couple of days of this tournament. As Kerwin will swing it over, Mac McDonough, or check that rather, 27 of the sweep across, Jenna Baverman. Then the shot from in tight, and Israel will have backup.
You know, Israel's actually been running 2-a-days, and they've been bringing their developmental team to come practice them so they can get more kids rotating in and out, and they have been going hard. They have been really concentrating on this move from up top that you just saw from Eisenberg. The one-on-one game for women's lacrosse right now is so important. If you can make a one-on-one move and you can get free, especially with a 6-on-6, now you got some space. Now you got just to take the good shot, and you know that's going to be the team that wins. You win the 50-50 ball, you can ride, and if you can shoot to score, you know, Europeans can be yours pretty easily.
Mac McDonough will have free position on the left wing. The delay is because the leader of the defense, Eula Neubauer, broke her stick on the check for Germany, so she's back on the field. It is McDonough against Britta Goldenstein, and she turns down the look. So Israel will look for something better. And back behind, Rachel Rosen.
You know, I look to see Israel try to do something. Oh, and there you go. Almost the opposite post feed. Definitely one of my favorites. And I know that that's something that the Americans are bringing to the table is that the use of the opposite post feed when you have the defender who's marking the girl behind, line up right behind the goalie can hardly track that feed when it comes over the post.
Israel was offsides. So that's an unforced turnover. And now can Germany clear? Mac McDonough. And McDonough on the redefend. Germany with Lena Stada, who's been with the program since the 2015 U19s. Takeaway again by Israel. Space for Allison Kerwin unsettled. As Kerwin approaches. Out top it came. Back down low for Kerwin. Great return pass from Sarah Meisenberg. And Israel's redefend forces Germany into a turnover and then to a goal.
Yeah, when you can turn that right into a into a goal, and not only that, the draw and dump, the nice eyes by Sarah Meisenberg to find her teammate on the crease, catching the ball right in front of your face and finishing low on the goalie. Man, if you can do all of that, it's going to be great for you.
Allison Kerwin. Jana Kaufman, coach of Israel, says she's clearly one of our best players, a real talent that can create for others. 2-time first-team All-CAA in 2015 and 2014 at James Madison, a team that just recently won a national championship in 2018. Strong Division I program in the state of Virginia.
You know, it's interesting. Colleen Shearer, who was one of the assistants for that James Madison team that won the national championship, said it was like lightning in a bottle. They just had the perfect team that particular year. You know, with all the hype around Maryland and now Boston College, for James Madison to sort of come out of the blue and have what I like to call the perfect storm for women's lacrosse, it was great to see a new program winning a national championship in the United States.
Exactly. Good for the sport, and it could be good for these next 10 days. We'll see what surprises or what team and what country may get a boost for the next several years if they can pick up just one maybe unexpected win here, how much that can do and mean for the growth of this sport in terms of funding, attention, and recruiting other players that want to join the team and devote their time to it.
Momentum is huge in this sport, especially for countries. You know, a lot of people think, oh, I play for the national team. They're maybe getting together once every couple of months to train. So momentum from one tournament can lead into unbelievable things 2 years in the world.
Resnick is stopped down low. Britta Goldenstein got it with her feet. And Germany gets the stop. And now Germany, can they clear? Another good ride by Israel. Amelie Peterson on the far sideline is fouled. As we come up on the final 2 minutes of this opening quarter, 2-0 Israel. Goals by Resnick and Kerwin. Peterson And Peterson continues to be hounded as she tries to reverse the course of the field and will to Laura Eversmeyer off the Germany bench. And Eversmeyer will settle it back into the stick of Stella Gnadic. Germany still looking for their first shot on cage. And this pass off the stick of Laura Koshorek. Germany, again, in no hurry. They can close out the remainder of this quarter and try to get the final look.
I think Germany really needs to start putting some speed into their game right now. They're allowing Israel's defense to set up, and that's already proved to be something that's not good for Germany. So I'm hoping they can get things going here offensively and really get that ball around.
And Shelby Davis, again, it's a very long week. The teams only get 1 day off. So for the moment, at the end of the first quarter, she's resting Tessa Helf, who is going to be logging a lot of miles, not minutes, miles on those legs as we get the foul. And it's going to be a moving screen called against Germany. Eula Neubauer started moving as she bumped through the defender of Israel. As Israel will look for the clear, Olivia Mannon, graduate of Fresno State in California. Kerwin, down to the crease, Resnick, off cage.
You know, Israel did a great job there. They were so patient on their double team, and that's how they were able to get that call. Germany just wasn't fast enough clearing through on the X-cut, and again, here we come. Israel's got the ball down on their offensive end.
Back up for Israel. According to our unofficial clock, 15 seconds. Rachel Rosen. Jenna Baverman, 27 in white. And we'll move it along, Sarah Meisenberg. Here comes the double on Meisenberg. Kerwin with eyes to the front. Final seconds. Kerwin. Baverman. As we expect to hear a counting clock from the officials. Cut to the crease. Fine. Meisenberg is able to hit Mac McDonough in the final seconds of the quarter. 3-0 Israel.
That was a sick backdoor by Mac. That was just absolutely amazing. You know what? What Israel is doing is creating the tempo of this game. They're not controlling it, but they're actually literally creating all of that tempo. And Germany's going to have a hard time if they don't wake up because they're being so aggressive on both the defensive and offensive ends. And literally, Israel's doing this great job of playing this two-man game. All three of their goals have been on the two-man game, either a draw and dump or backdoor.
Mac McDonough, known for her ball control. She's headed to the U19 tournament in Peterborough, Canada, coming up next week too. She'll be one of the coaches for the younger Israeli players. Still some time remaining in this opening quarter. Baverman off the face dodge. That's it for the opening quarter. So at the end of one, Israel got too early. Kerwin with a goal and assist, and then the late goal at the end of the first quarter could really come back to hurt Germany in their quest to hang around in this game. But a good start to the very first game out of 59 we'll be bringing you here either on YouTube or via NBC's Olympic channel in the United States. I'm Ralph Bednarchi, joined by Greece head coach Stephanie Samaras Matsiaris. Very comfortable night here in Jerusalem, and the field you see here tonight is called the Bob Kraft Sports and Athletic Complex, named after and donated by the owner of the New England Patriots and chairman of the Kraft Food Company. Spectacular facility. My first time here, Steffi. This won't be used here for the rest of the week. We're going to move over to Netanya and play literally just yards off the Dead Sea over there the remaining 58 games.
Yeah, this facility is absolutely amazing, man. You've got Jerusalem behind us with everything that most of these girls experienced today. Sitting here and enjoying a nice lacrosse game is just absolutely fun. You know, this facility, it's got actually 3 fields. We're just on the first 2 AstroTurf fields and then a grass field that reminds me of Klockner Stadium back in Virginia, one of the best grass fields in the United States. Probably the world, in my opinion, but I'm biased. So it's really exciting. You know, one thing I will say, I'm hoping, and if I know Germany well, at least from their past, they've just tried to get some butterflies out of their stomach. Other than that, Israel is really come out saying, "Hey, we're here, and we're definitely we want to be one of the teams to reckon with." So I'm excited to see if Israel can maintain sort of this momentum that they've created, and not only that, can Germany take that away from them? Can they stop them? I think if Germany can come up with one huge defensive stop, we could see a huge shift in momentum. Not only that, using the speed of their draw in the center, she's got legs for days, people. And if we can use that speed in the midfield, then, you know, anything's possible.
And it is Tessa Helf who is back out there after getting a breather over the last 3 minutes of the opening quarter. So Helf on the draw circle for Germany. Germany is yet to win one. With the second quarter underway, 15-minute running time. Picked up by Mac McDonough. And McDonough back behind Britta Goldenstein, who's had a lot of pressure in front of her. As Baverman will move it along, Meisenberg. And the ball movement so far has been crisp and quick for Israel. A lot of credit goes to assistant coach on Janet Kaufman's staff and Ian Kaddish, who played at Division III Amherst, tremendous academic institution in Massachusetts, for his box lacrosse theories and ideas that he's brought forth. But this is the product of also 6 months of film study and then brought out here over the course of 2-a-day practices to try to play at this pace.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I can't say that that box lacrosse has anything to do with the three-man weave that Israel is running right now, but that was a good three-man weave. I also see that Germany has made a switch, so they're trying to take away the power of Alison Kerwin from Israel with number 12. So maybe that could be the spark that Germany's looking for.
That's Rachel Rosen, who came out in front, missed the shot on the look. Rosen had a spectacular 5-goal, 18-assist freshman year, the spring of 2018 with Penn State. Had some injuries this past spring. Kerwin freed herself and finished. Alison Kerwin turning the corner. 4-0 Israel.
You know, it's interesting. Everybody probably just thought, oh, she doesn't have an angle. And then all of a sudden, she just turned that corner with her left hand. She showed her speed. She showed her how explosive you can be. And again, this is the first time we've seen Israel take that long one-on-one. And I don't know if Germany was expecting it. They were probably expecting the two-man game. And here comes Kerwin. Even with the change-up of the defender guarding her, she was still able to turn and burn almost.
2 goals and an assist in the first half for Alison Kerwin. And Israel preceding that, moving the ball very quickly. And Germany just trying to chase. Germany needs a draw control win from Tessa Helf against Resnick. Near the restraining line. And offsides. Offsides against Israel crossing the restraining line just before it got there.
Yeah, so that's sort of something that's new to women's lacrosse, is now we play this three-man game just off of the draw. But until possession is taken by a specific team, the girls behind the restraint line have to stay behind the restraint line. So unfortunately, Israel just stepped over a little bit too early, probably got a little too excited that the ball was coming towards them and wanted to keep up with their momentum.
Free position for Germany. Good clearance from Elena Roth as she came in and looked for something better. Tessa Helf will be just outside the 8-meter. Alexandra Freeman was on the Middlebury team last year that reached the Division III National Championship game in the U.S. She's going to be the head coach of the Israeli U19 team. It will be Roth, after all, at the top of the 8-meter. Fires, and Freeman is able to make the save.
So 8 meters in women's lacrosse are a little bit similar to free throws in basketball, especially with the new rules and having to clear out what we call the pie at the bottom part of the 8 meters. So I'm really surprised that she didn't run that ball in a little bit more, especially she didn't have a defender to her dominant side. So I would be looking for her to run that in a little bit more, give herself a better angle on the cage, and really move the Israeli goalie.
Elena Roth decided to go with power, and Friedman was able to match sticks. Israel the clear.
I like to say placement over power will always win. In the end, placement over power will always win.
You sound like you've said that to your Annapolis high school players for 2 decades.
I feel like I have. You could say that I'm one of those coaches that's been around the block. I was coaching at Yale and then at Quinnipiac. I took some time off to coach lacrosse out on the West Coast with Scott Hockstedt, an amazing men's player from the University of Baylor, and then went back into college coaching for the University of Richmond, and now I'm back in my hometown coaching Annapolis High School, working with those girls and helping Greece hopefully be what potentially Israel is now in the next 4 to 6 years.
Israel just turned it over. The pass sailed out of the reach of the stick of Emily Resnick, and it'll be Britta Goldenstein to try to execute the clear for Germany. A very seasoned goalie is Britta, with Israel locking off, and we'll see if Goldenstein can execute a pass. Well, as you and I talked about, you're excited about the possibilities of, you had a pool of 200 names that were interested in playing for Greece, so it is possible the talent pool appears like it can get there, as this is Helf. And Helf got rid of the pass. Roth. And Elena Roth, good clear for Germany. Now a chance for transition. And the shot cannot be taken. Eula Neubauer had the shot. It just caromed out of her stick at the last moment. But a beautiful redirection there by Roth to create a scoring chance.
Yeah, Israel's doing this amazing job of using the entire field to their advantage. And it seems like Germany is just using the center of the field. That is extremely in the hands of Israel to ride the ball. If you're only going to use one lane of the field to transition the ball into your offensive end, another team is just going to take advantage of that.
Rosen. Men in the crease by Peterson. Can Germany get another stop? Israel just turned it over. 4-0. Israel with the lead. 8.5 to go. Second quarter tonight. What's turning into a little bit of a breezy evening from the Kraft Sports and Athletic Complex in Jerusalem. This will be the only game played here, but it's a special one. It's opening night. Opening ceremony took place beforehand. Olivia Mannon. Swung outside, Meisenberg. Meisenberg gets position on Helf. Then the throwback looking for Resnick. And it will be Rosen that rescues the possession for Israel. Israel also, 3 of their 4 goals have been assisted. Nothing yet on free position, but they've generated good looks. As they'll catch their breath and isolate for Allison Kerwin. Kerwin and a man-to-man. Eula Neubauer has that assignment. She's their best defensive midi and probably best one-on-one defender, described Shelby Davis of Germany, and shows you the respect that they're giving to Kerwin. Mac McDonough. Kerwin again. Kerwin is able to drive to her left hand and get inside the 8. Neubauer was not able to take away her right hand.
You know, I love the confidence that Israel has. You saw before they went into sort of what I like to call a mini stall. Meisenberg took the ball with a one-on-one and almost threw the ball to Kerwin as if she was going to be there. They did a good job of maintaining possession, but their confidence on offense is what's the difference maker in this game. They're going and they're going hard.
Goldenstein comes up with a save on the free position, her second. And Britta Goldenstein now under pressure, looks for the clear. And McDonough commits the foul. They will back up Britta. But Goldenstein, as we're seeing here with her confidence, Steffi, that she gives them a chance against any opponent.
She does, actually. You know, lefty goalie, which is not rare in lacrosse, but sometimes attackers, they just forget. You know what? They're coming in hard. They're thinking about protecting their stick, and boom, they take the shot thinking they're shooting on a righty goalie, and here she comes. You know, she has a lot of power with her step, and she plays very high. So I would look for Israel to start shooting low on her. Because that's going to be a big thing. If they can fake high and draw her to come even higher, then her feet are going to be wide open.
Goldenstein just dropped it. Open net and a finish. Oh, a disaster for Germany. Mac McDonough, the feed in tight. An easy layup for Emily Resnick. It's 5-0.
That was interesting because I don't think Germany expected that at all. And if you notice the reaction time of the Israeli girls, they literally just planted themselves on the crease, and Mac knew exactly who she was throwing the ball to if she came up with that ball, and that's pretty much just what happened.
Well, two girls, Steffi, have really hurt Germany in this opening half. The goal with seconds remaining at the end of the opening quarter, following a failed clear. And then that one there off of a giveaway.
גול לנבחרת ישראל, מספר 4, אמילי רזניק, אסיסטד ומספר 17, מקלן מקדונה. יאללה ישראל!
Draw control again belonging to Israel. Manin. And Manin's able to circle. Manin was a defender during her time at Fresno State. But once Israel coach Janet Kaufman saw her wheels, she moved her to the midfield, and it's a chance for a player to experience something that they haven't. Sometimes players can get pigeonholed. It might be an opportunity for a huge 10 days for Manin to experience.
Yeah, I would definitely say that, especially international lacrosse, you have the ability to sort of get really creative. And there are a lot of girls who play for their, whether it's their uni team in the UK or their college team in the United States, they play one specific position, and then they can go to their international team and they can play a completely different position, and can be used in a completely different way. So it's going to be really interesting to see players that I've maybe seen before now playing a completely different position. It's definitely happening with teams like Israel. Same thing with England, especially as you have players at England like a Lucy Lynch, who's played in 5 World Cups, and she's like, maybe I shouldn't play midfield the entire time. Maybe I play a little bit of attack. My legs are getting a little older, people.
And this really challenges your legs with all the back-to-backs. Feed inside, Rosen able to find Resnick. Off the restart, Israel gets a quick one, 6-0.
So Resnick on that back door there, and I like to call that an opposite post feed. You've drawn all of the defense's eyes, as well as the defender who's on the ball and the goalie, over to one post, and then you just lay the ball over the other post.
Fine dish, Rachel Rosen off the quick restart. 3 for Emily Resnick. And high percentage shots this entire first half for Israel, as we come up on the final 2 minutes. Draw control out of the reach of Helf. It's Kerwin again for Israel. And that number has also been dominated by Israel, and they can afford to maybe sit on this possession, to sit on a shutout in this opening half. A sharp performance so far for Israel, just a couple of turnovers, but they've shot the ball with a great percentage. There's been a good flow, and they've turned Germany over.
Yeah, Israel is showing like this great fluidity almost to them. They're all on the same page from an offensive standpoint. They know what they're doing. They're, again, controlling the tempo. They've slowed the ball down when they need to slow the ball down, and they've picked the speed up of the ball when they need to pick the speed up. That's creating so much more because you have and you feel the control of the ball. And I think that's been probably the biggest difference in this game so far is Israel's taken control away from Germany.
Kerwin. And Germany has remained in a man-to-man. Mannen. Rosen with under a minute, 45 seconds left unofficially, first half. 6-0 Israel. In the opening game of the 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship from Jerusalem on opening night only. Everything moves to Netanya. About 45 minutes west, beginning tomorrow. Cut by Kerwin, and the bouncing shot is finished. She beats Goldenstein. Resnick on the feed. Kerwin went against the grain on the shot.
You know, it's interesting. They're not sisters, Resnick and Kerwin, but they sure are playing like they're sisters because it's almost like they know where each other are the entire time. And uh-oh, Germany's bringing a new goalie in, Ralph.
Third for Kerwin, and perhaps just a mental break for Britta Goldenstein.
גול, נבחרת ישראל, על ידי מספר 11, אליסון קורבין. אסיסט ממספר 4, אמילי.
And Germany brings in Louisa Beck, their backup goalie. And we'll see with the score at 7-0, whether that will carry over. And this is not just about tonight, I think, for Germany too, Shelby, that for Germany to compete to the level they want to, they need Britta Goldenstein to be playing at a great level. And this is also an opportunity for Louisa Beck to get her feet wet, just in case there are other situations that she may have a chance to play in.
Yeah, again, this is a confidence builder. So, you know, Germany might have pulled Britt out, but it's more of probably to regroup, knowing that she has the confidence in the cage. But to bring in your backup goalie and give her some confidence as well, going into whatever matches she may play in the next couple of days, could be very strong for them.
Feet ahead off the turnover. Here they come. McDonough in on Beck, beats her with the shot. A turnover at midfield by Germany hurts them again. 8-0. Mac McDonough able to walk it to the front.
You know, that's that Germany ride, and unfortunately, Israel ride, and Germany was out of position. So, regardless of Mac taking it all the way in, it was a 3-on-1 for Germany, and you know, Mac's just saying, "Welcome to the game, Louisa."
Second for Mac McDonough. Kerwin on the scoop. And Kerwin has been excellent transition. McDonough again. McDonough is there again. Kerwin able to race in off of a clean pickup off the draw. 9-0 Israel, as good of a half as they might have hoped for.
Kerwin is everywhere. I mean, it's almost like the ball is attracted to her. So it's really fun to watch her play, and her teammates are doing such a good job of getting into position so she can create with them. You know, you have some players that create on their own, and then you have somebody like Alison Kerwin who's creating with her teammates. She can either finish the job or she can dish the job.
Consecutive goals for McDonough. Kerwin with a huge opening half of the European Championship. 3 goals and 2 assists for the former star out of James Madison. And Germany has not been able to slow Israel down at all by winning a draw. Kerwin again, as Kerwin fires. The shot does not count. That's the end of the first half. A little bit of a delayed or not a clear whistle, but that appears it is the end of the first half. 9-0 Israel. They opened up 3-0 in the first 15 minutes, but they got a late goal at the end of the period after a turnover, and they strung together a big run to have this commanding lead at the half. Steffi and I will step out. We'll come back here on YouTube from Jerusalem to bring you the second half. Israel on opening night in Jerusalem leads Germany 9-0.
משהו? חבר את הכבל שלו בחזרה. לא ישמעו, לא ישמעו. עכשיו שומעים אותנו, זה עדיף לא לדבר כאילו שם. ליד הטיימר, אתה יכול להוסיף זה? אפשר. ליד הטיימר. ירינו, 1, 2, 3, 2 ושעה, 3. לראות איך עושים את זה. זה להבין את הבדיקה, ואז תצא להבין את המכונה הבדיקה היא פה. מחר השולחן פה הכל שלו. כן, אז אתה עם היד יכול לזור ככה. רק לפנות שם כפו מוניטור, עובד כתיר. כן, בבית, זה מוניטור בזה. אתה לא מתאמץ. בפעמיים קניתי ידוע סוברניות, הבעיה של תקופות, זה כאלה שאתה לוחד. לא, אז אתה כאילו יושב על כיסא בכלל, אתה מבין? לא עומד. אתה יושב מול הלפטופ, זום, שוטטף מזה. יש לך גם הרבה עבודה, אחי. יש לך 15... דווקא אני אוהב את הרעיון שלה, העמידה עושה טוב דווקא.
We start the third quarter tonight from Jerusalem and the Bob Kraft Sports Athletic Complex with Steffi Samras, Matt Ciaris. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. 9-0 Israel at the half over Germany in the opening game of this 59-game Women's European Lacrosse Championship. Germany comes up with their first draw control. That's the start that Shelby Davis, coach of Germany, would have loved to have gotten. She does. And we'll see if they can finish it off as inside a check and a foul as Lisa Neuberg got inside the 8.
I'm really hoping to see Germany kick it into fifth gear right now. And hopefully, again, the draw control, creating that momentum. Now they have an 8-meter. Let's see if they can put one in and really change the tempo of this game for themselves.
One of the captains is Lisa Neuberg. She'll turn down the look, though. New goalie in for Israel was their expected starter, Dylan Teitelbaum. But Alexandra Friedman got the start and made a big save on an early free position. Elena Roth. Back behind, Nina Limburg also starts the second half. She's a big target player in the crease. Germany does have some size if they can get it to the 8-meter. They have 3 players 5'9" or taller that they can use as drivers, including Helf right here. Roth, and could not get the shot off, in and out of her cradle. The pickup from Resnick, who has had a dynamite half. Resnick with 3 goals and an assist. Allison Kerwin, the biggest night, 3 goals and 2 assists. 3 goals from Mac McDonough, the scoring leaders for Israel.
You know, it's interesting. Israel seems to be very comfortable right now, clearly because of the lead that they have. But they're just going to continue to control the tempo of this game. The ball is in their court, and they can just continue to play around with it. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they start to take some time off the clock. Germany's going to have to come out and actually make them do something for them to go into their offense.
And let's start with Janet Kaufman, coach of Israel. 9-0, the first half of the tournament. Rosen in tight. Could not finish, but it's dumped back in. McDonough picks up the loose change inside. Rosen got a good pass. McDonough picked it up outside the crease and beats Louisa Beck. It's 10-0.
Yeah, so basically Israel is where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be. They're reacting very well to their teammates. They're clearly all on the same page, like I said before. And that's what I like to call a grub on the crease. So the ball actually came out, and Mac was able to pick the ball up and right on the crease and finish on the doorstep, and Germany was almost nowhere to be found.
Fourth for McDonough. As I started to tease, when you lead 9-0 as the third quarter's underway, what do you think Janet Kaufman, when you realize it's a long 10 days, what do you think she talked about to her team that does have great optimism for this week? What do you think her message was at the half?
You know, I think it's staying on the same page, and really, again, the pace of the game is now completely different with the score being what it is than it is at the beginning of the game. So how do we still perform the way that we want to perform, but also maybe save some horses for tomorrow or the following days?
Germany picks up another draw control win. So that's a positive development. And then if you're Germany coach Shelby Davis, in tight, and they get the finish. Wow, what a fine quick stick. Stella Gneidig was able to make a tough catch. In her first appearance with the national team, U19 squad 2 years ago, and Gneidig showing great hands on the crease. It's 10-1.
You know, that was a great pick and pop on the crease. Again, you're taking that two-man game, and now you're putting it around the crease. And clearly, Germany chose to use her height on that opposite post. And regardless of the defender who is guarding her, her stick is so high, and she can just sort of almost slam dunk it in.
Did not catch the assist, but Stella Gneidig shows off fine finishing with some traffic around her. And the little things for Germany here, trailing 10-1. Can they win a quarter from Israel? Israel takes the next draw. McDonough.
You know, they changed up the draw, and they put Hef on the circle instead of having her take the actual draw. I don't know if that's necessarily changed anything, but Germany's got another possession right now. So hopefully they can get down the field and do something with it.
Eula Neubauer. And Israel's redefend also such a big factor in the first half. But it will be Eula Neubauer, one of the captains, 3 captains that Germany coach Shelby Davis named. Helf, as Israel sits on her left hand. Beautiful draw and dump, and a fine shot and finish. Helf, the advantage of being a lefty. It's 10-2.
Germany woke up, and they're here. So again, and it's interesting, they just used one of Israel's draw and dumps right against them. Israel's defense maybe is set back a little bit because of their comfortable lead, and Germany's now making them pay for it. That was an amazing draw and dump. The timing of the pass and the step away from the double team was absolutely on point.
In super tight quarters, Eula Neubauer, who starts typically at a low defense position, but she will play in the defensive midfield and cross over and be the 4th midfielder at times. She shows she can play all over, and a terrific assist from Tessa Helf, Germany's core midfielder. So at 10-2, McDonough. Another draw control grab, and off it goes to Rachel Rosen. So Israel may not be done yet. It looks like a spirited Germany team. They changed goalies late in the second quarter, to our surprise, as long-standing starter Britta Goldenstein was in there through the first, I'd say it was 8 goals, before she was subbed down in favor of the younger goalie, Louisa Beck. So it's Beck getting an opportunity.
Germany's made some great changes off of the halftime. They've changed up the draw. They put an extra defender behind the restraint line to take away Israel's fast break. And so far it's worked. Israel's slowed the ball down. They haven't gotten that quick drive off of the draw. And, I think it's given Germany some confidence. And now Israel has really got to think, okay, we don't have our fast break. Now we actually have to run our entire settled offense the entire game.
Manin, Rosen. Rosen off the redodge, the double team all over her. And Rosen tried to squeeze through it. And she's just outside the edge of the 8-meter. Rosen, 26 and white, a super athlete in high school. 3-time or 3-sport all-county player. In lacrosse, where she was All-American, but then basketball and soccer, multi-all-county years. As she drops it off outside for 18, Batel Alkali. And Alkali, one of the 7 Israeli natives that are especially important to the growth of this game. Quick stick inside, Resnick. Another cut from Mac McDonough. 11-2.
Now, Germany's actually made an interesting change here that I like. They're starting to play defense behind because they've gotten let a few goals in from the feed from behind. So Israel just picks up on that change, and now they change their point of attack. Instead of from directly from behind, they move it out to the still below the goal line, but outside of the goal circle. And now just the angle changes on their cuts, and they're still getting open.
5 for Mac McDonough. And all of her goals, Steffi, we can say, have been in high percentage areas. Israel tonight has 8 out of their 11 goals be assisted into super setups.
That just shows you that this team is very cohesive. When you can have that type of team now, there is no singular threat. Even though you have the 3 or 4 of the same girls doing all of it, you can't really guard. You can't try to mark out 3 or 4 girls, especially in a 6-on-6. So now basically what Israel is doing is they're saying, okay, which one are you going to take away? Okay, we'll just go to a different combo. And, those different combos, as Israel's been working them, they're changing them up. They're scoring, although it's out of a 2-on-2 in reality, they're scoring from different parts of the 8-meter, so it's really hard to guard. And you just see it again, draw and dump, and she's taking it to the cage from dead center. The last one was from behind, and they've done it from the elbow. They're just very dynamic with what they're doing, and they're changing it every single time, which tells me Israel's offense is doing a really good job of reading Germany's defense and what they're giving them, and then they're taking what they're giving them.
Chance here for Batel Alkali on free position. She has backup. Alkali, a source of pride for Israeli lacrosse. One of the 7 natives. She's just 18 years old. She is going to the Army next. But she has earned an opportunity, especially with the score what it is. In tight, another goal. Terrific shot. Mac McDonough changing planes, goes low to low to add to her fantastic night. 6 for Mac.
I can't believe I'm going to say that was a shovel shot. That was a high-powered shovel shot. And what the difference is the power that you're able to get on that. And it's a blind shot almost because you have your back to the goalie. She has no idea where you're going to release the ball. And Mac just put that one away.
And McDonough, another catch right on the crease. And Israel has been terrific in moving the ball in those tight quarters. Rachel Rosen on the assist. 4 minutes to go. Still in this third quarter. And back to the story of Batel Alkali. For someone of the 7 natives that Israel prides themselves on, that they have made this team in the tryout process, and now getting on the field and assimilating and working with the players that are from the United States. Some, yes, have moved over, but still a significant development because Alkali is looking to be the pioneer, the first one to score a goal as a native Israeli in a European championship.
I mean, if you don't think that is super cool, then I don't even know what to tell you. I am just in awe. She's 18. I don't think they understand the history that's being made. I say this to girls all the time, brand new college programs, brand new international programs. It doesn't really matter. We want to win. No. Create the history first. The winning will come. You put the right people in the right place, the winning will come. And Israel has totally proved that. And it's just great to see her play. And it's great to see the girls who have moved over to Israel and embrace that aspect of their lives.
Germany turns it over. Pick up by Manin. Here is the aforementioned Batel Al-Khali as she gets it ahead here to Resnick to settle the Israeli offense with 2.5 left in the third. And with the score being what it is, we should see at least several, if not all, of the remaining 7 natives that all have different background stories, but they're very devoted. They're here. Of course, they're around the men's program that has taken off for the country of Israel, that has certainly set the bar very high and for something that these natives can look forward to and can look up to. And
not only that, in being in Israel for the past 3 days and seeing, we've practiced 2 of the 3 times we've practiced, Israel has been on the field with us. And the men's team is like hovering around them, watching, helping. That is very rare. I love to see the support of the men's program, of the women's program, and vice versa. I can only imagine that the women will do the same thing for the men. But you can tell when you're around them how great they understand what's happening in their country.
Jenna Baverman, nice trail check. Product then of UMBC. In your area, played her first year for former Northwestern star Shannon Smith at Hofstra. Nice knockdown, though, by Louisa Beck on Baverman's intended feed. Israel keeps the possession. Late stages, third quarter, Israel leads 12-2. Resnick to the front, down low, Rosen. The pickup by Al-Khali. Rosen again, back into a settled situation. Final minutes, unofficially, of the third. Emily Resnick. Resnick face dodges her way through. She's able to duck inside the defender beautifully. And Amelie Peterson whiffed. And Resnick shows great flash, 13-2.
I love that ability on the crease. She pulled her defender away from the line of the crease, so she had the ability to choose to either take the one-on-one over top of her or take the one-on-one underneath of her. She chose to go underneath, and it's such a hard thing to defend because you have an option of throwing her into the crease and basically putting her on the 8-meter. But with her speed, she just beat the defender. She just beat the defender straight out. So you got to pray that your goalie makes the big-time save right there. And Louisa did step out big, but she was able to have the patience to let her step out and then shoot the ball around her.
4th of the night for Emily Resnick. It's going to be a real initiator in this entire tournament. And she's shown a little bit of everything. Rachel Rosen took the draw, and the ball found her. And then Rosen is fouled. Watching Rosen going back to high school, Steffi, I can tell you she is a ferocious and physical competitor and someone that adjusted to college quite quickly.
Yeah, I got to see her play a few times this year at Penn State, and it was just amazing. I didn't know her as a high school player, but she's dynamic. She can play behind the crease. She can play in front of the crease. And the college game in the United States has become more of a midfield game, and she had to do some of that as well, especially with Penn State's ride. But it's so fun to watch her play. She sees the field so well.
There's the pass again. That was Resnick. It does not count. What a cross-cage pass, though, as you speak of, Stephanie. And Resnick will have to settle for having just 4 goals. As we go to the fourth, 13-2 Israel. It was about a half second late.
Again, like I was saying about Rosen, she just has this ability. When you can see the field as well as she sees it, your ability to make decisions just becomes so much faster. And again, this game is about speed and how quickly you can do things. The biggest skill set that I've seen difference between Israel and Germany is purely Israel's reaction time. They have very similar skill, but Israel's just reacting to the ball much quicker than Germany is.
and sure shows just how much the advantage perhaps of those 2-a-days of practices, the 8 or so practice advantage that Israel has over Germany at this juncture.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. You know, the more time you spend together, the more time you're going to be on the same page and work things out. And Israel is definitely showing that if they can string together a 60-minute game and keep the momentum going, they're going to be able to have some more confidence going into tomorrow. I think Germany's done a good job of saying, okay, hey, we're here. But controlling the ball is going to be a big thing for Germany the rest of this tournament, especially with the teams that they're going to be playing. Because I can only imagine if this is the type of defense that Israel's playing, you're going to see some crazy rides out of England.
Israel's ride turned over Germany several times in the second quarter. They scored 6 times during that period to open up a 9-0 lead at the half. And they just went back and forth for a bit. Germany got within 10-2 early stages of the third before Israel finished off with a 3-0 run. And as we start the fourth, it'll be 13-2. Again, we play 15-minute running clocks unofficially. Israel will have tomorrow off, Steffi. And on Wednesday, they will take on Scotland in their next game. It'll also be a night game. All these Israel games will be at night. Germany also gets tomorrow off, and they're in Group A. They take on England. This was going to be the tune-up for that, so arguably Germany's 2 hardest games come right off the top.
Yeah, and that could be a struggle for Germany if they can stay in it and finish this game strong and go into England with a game plan, which I do not doubt that that Germany will go into the England game with a game plan. That's going to be really key for them, and they can hopefully perform well against England. I mean, England is definitely the favorite of the European Championships for this year, so they need a performance against them to gain some confidence back.
Luisa Beck remains the goalie for Germany. On the other end, Dylan Teitelbaum still waiting to make a save. She came on in the second half in relief of the starter tonight, Alexandra Friedman. And the majority of the Israeli starters are still out there. But into the game for the first time, Amit Burstein, who is also a native. And she dyed her hair blue. She's playing in the low D, so we'll see her when the ball transitions to the other end to match the Israeli blue colors. Al-Khali. And Sarah Meisenberg. Meisenberg also runs Iron Woman competitions. She's a real leader by example, someone that is nonstop. She's lived in Israel the last year and a half, too, in working with Israel Lacrosse, growing the game, doing tryouts, and continuing her studies.
Yeah, so Sarah's father and my father actually worked together in Maryland, and I got to meet with her and go over some of the things that Israel Lacrosse was doing as we started to build Greece Lacrosse, or LACROSSE. And you can just tell she's got this passion for not only the sport of lacrosse, because she's been playing it since she was a little kid, but she's got this passion for Israel that is just, stands alone on itself, because living here is, from what she's told me, has completely changed her life. And she absolutely loves it. And I couldn't see her doing anything else other than being a part of Israel Lacrosse.
And Israel has a nice core of players that they're not just players that have flown in just for tournaments. They've been here together, and that mentorship of these 7 natives, as well as the developmental players that are still teenagers, I think is going to go a long way, even beyond this week. Israel does have a team entered into the World U19 Championships that are coming up in Peterborough in Ontario, Canada, August 1st through the 10th. That Alexandra Friedman, tonight's starting goalie, will be the head coach of.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch the Israel under-19 team compete this summer. To tell you the truth, it'll be fun to watch all the teams, under-19 teams. But I will say there's been a big push for this next generation of Israeli lacrosse players, and I don't know if there are any other countries that are developing their young players the way that Israel lacrosse is developing their young players.
Yeah, particularly among what we might call the new countries that have picked up the sport.
Yeah, it's really fun to see. I mean, clearly you're going to have the big guns in U.S., Canada, and Australia. I think England does a very good job with their under-19 program because of the system that they just have set up in England. But Israel they've had their Americans over here living. They've had them going out 2 or 3 times a week, teaching the sport of lacrosse to the young kids. So lacrosse is going to be considered one of these sports of Israel. That's one of their goals. It hasn't taken that long for lacrosse in Israel to explode. I mean, just coming into the venue tonight, all of the little kids walking around with their lacrosse sticks, it reminds me of the time I got to see Gary and Paul Gate play in the national championship, and me walking into the field with my lacrosse stick as a 6th grader. So it's really fun to see that and to see the people who are behind this amazing sport in Israel.
Rosen, the pass. Resnick knocked down as she took the shot. It was wide of cage. And the belief, and this is the dream of the leader of Israel lacrosse, Scott Neese. This was his dream. This was the original dream, to bring the European Women's Lacrosse Championships here. And then with England unable to put together the 2018 Men's World Lacrosse Championship, Israel had about a 13-month head start only to put together a tournament for 45 teams. And he and his remarkable staff, including some of these players like Alexandra Freeman, were able to do it and execute it. I don't even remember exactly how many games it was, but 45 teams times 8, you do the math. That was their dream, and this has all been years in the making, and it looks like this is just a building block rather than an ending to one goal. Rosen off the face dodge. Doesn't like her angle and shows patience. Jenna Baverman, product from the state of Maryland. Another long possession for Israel as they sit on a 13-2 lead. 4th quarter, opening night from the European Women's Lacrosse Championship, as we have about 9 minutes left of this 4th quarter. Resnick. And Resnick defended outside as Sinem Unlu has come in for the first time. 3 in black for Germany. Meisenberg. And the Czech Marlene Steyer of Germany. As we talked off air, Steffi, using the word natives, and I think that's probably the best way to explain it. Germany does not have anybody on their roster that has played NCAA or any form of U.S. lacrosse. That's been the aim of the German Lacrosse Foundation. They had virtually that kind of team, too, on their men's side. It appears that Germany has gotten to the point where they can sustain rosters that are just of natives. And the question is, how do they build just off of natives to the next step?
Again, how cool is that? I think this is where Shelby comes into play, and there needs to be more lacrosse being taught in these countries. And not only that, but it's almost like the players need to be charged with growing the sport. And I know during the opening ceremonies, some of the people that spoke on behalf of Israel Lacrosse to all of the teams almost charged them with that. Go back, teach this sport, grow it in your country. I think that Scott Neese from Israel Lacrosse, along with everybody from Israel Lacrosse, would only want to see more countries playing the sport, whether they're European countries or just international countries. The whole point is of a tournament like this is spreading this sport because of how much the people love it.
Save was made by Louisa Beck on Emily Resnick, but Germany on the failed clear. Also, Nicole Bagley has come on for the first time, 1 in white for Israel on the attacking end. And she's another member of the Israeli army that has opportunities to leave for tryout camps, training, and practices. And she is a very committed teacher of the sport to the younger people, and someone that could be a long-standing coach down the road for Israel women's lacrosse. That's where her impact is going to be felt.
Israel's done a really good job in speaking with Mac and Dylan, the goalkeeper. They do a really good job of training their coaches. These are kids who are, and by kids because they are so young, they make a connection with the kids that they're coaching, and I think that nowadays, and we were talking about this before the game started, if a kid can make a connection with a coach, it's almost like you've hooked them for life. And knowing the personalities of Dylan and Mac, if I were a kid in Israel, I'd want to play just because of the two of them. So it's really awesome to see their personalities come out off the field, and then to see them become these, powerful women on the field.
Louisa Beck and Germany will try to execute a clear. 5.5 left in the fourth quarter. This was a 13-2 game at the end of 3. And Beck continues to hold. Israel with a full field ride. Beck given all the time and room. And it could not be picked up. Meisenberg for Israel. And it's Meisenberg that is the one fouled by Germany. And I think the takeaways for Shelby Davis tonight of Germany, the controllables that you can try to correct rapidly, the clearing game should be at the top of the list.
Yeah, I think the speed at which you clear isn't necessarily the case. Again, you can see the disconnect between the goalkeeper and the field players, and a little bit of the fear that comes in with the fact that Israel's been able to ride the ball so much. But Germany's got to do a better job of possessing the ball. I don't think they understand I think they understand the importance of the possessions, but they haven't taken enough calculated chances. I think they've only probably taken 3 or 4 shots on the cage, and it's going to be hard if you're not willing to sort of put things on the line and take some calculated chances to be able to do some of the scoring that's going to need to be done against England coming up, knowing that they're a very similar team to Israel.
I think the best way I've heard a coach explain it to me, Steffi, is you should attack the ride. Don't let the ride attack you.
So it's interesting because when we talk about attackers now, especially in international play, it's almost like we want an attacker to be a better rider than an attacker. And now we're saying the same thing about the defenders. We're saying you have to have the same stick skills as an attacker does because of the fact that attackers are now riding the ball so well. Which is why I constantly talk about the fact that this is really a game of midfielders. Some are just stuck behind lines.
Crowd reacts to the ground ball picked up by Amit Burstein, who came on earlier. Burstein is so devoted. It's one of those 7 natives. She even went out and got a lacrosse tattoo, an Israeli lacrosse tattoo. That tells you about the devotion that young lady has, a member of the Israeli army, and getting a chance to play tonight on opening night in the European Lacrosse Championship.
It's interesting. It's fun to watch her play, and it's fun. We've got the Israeli developmental team over here on the sidelines, and the smiles that are going from ear to ear on these girls watching these natives play is just absolutely amazing. They're so pumped for their teammates. You can just see the joy in their hearts. It's awesome.
Timeout called by Shelby Davis and Germany with about 2 minutes and change left in the fourth quarter. Can Germany win this quarter? They'll need to start it with a clear, and I imagine she is absolutely going to try to put one together and walk her young team and young goalie through the clear so they can get that shot and have something to build on into tomorrow's, or I should say Wednesday night's, major game against England, where they will try to raise their level of play and try to compete for four quarters.
You know, it's interesting, and I'm excited to watch England play because I think they have probably a little bit more speed than Israel does. England is made up of girls who are triathletes, like out of the wazoo. And I think what Germany's going to have to do against a team like England, which I think could have helped them tonight, is they're going to have to attack the ball out of the air. It's almost seemed like they were waiting for the ball to come to them, and Israel was attacking the ball. I think that's going to be a huge push for them in their England game, and is that something that they can do, along with the speed at which they're playing in their offensive end?
Germany out of the timeout. Germany is in the ability-based top group, which is Group A, comprised of themselves and Israel, England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. So that's invitation only. So if you're thinking about, it is like the EPL setup, the English Premier League, where you are relegated or promoted to that higher level among better teams for better competition, and developmental programs such as Sweden are down in the bottom four, which is Group C. But there are 16 teams in total that are participating. Several others that would have loved to have been here, but they just cannot put together the funding for a full team. Germany will put the ball into the stick of Sinem Unlu, who's a one-person clear. Otto comes for the shot, and Teitelbaum makes the save. Marlene Steyer went stick to stick. Easy stop for Teitelbaum.
Yeah, that was probably the best speed we've seen of Germany all night. Unfortunately, when you release the shot, there was no fake. There was no movement of the goalie. She was able to just step into that save. And again, here comes Israel, and they're just not stopping. They're just going to continue to go, and now they're really helping out their natives that are on the field. And they're probably going to come up and settle the ball if they can maintain possession of this.
Alkali will settle it. Also, Yulia Gorobets. We mentioned young players. Steffi, how about this? Yulia Gorobets, 23 in white, is just 16 years old. She has been interviewed several times as one of the young poster children of Israeli women's lacrosse. Very coachable, and Janek Kaufman feels she has a chance to be a future captain. Again, just 16 years old. She's playing a role as a backup attacker.
The amount of experience that she can gain as a 16-year-old is really going to be able to put her lacrosse into perspective in, say, 5 to 10 years. She'll be able to, basically what Israel's doing is creating the next round of girls to lead this program. When any of the girls that are the older ones in this program choose to retire, stop playing, do whatever they want to do, they're already starting to train those young teams. And the fact that she's already in this first game shows the confidence that her coaches and her teammates have in her. That's amazing.
Failed clear by Germany. Megan Lerner, Stanford graduate, will play some midfield. She comes up with a ground ball. And Batel Alkali will hold it. We're inside what we appear is the final minute. We'll get a free position. And we'll see if Nicole Bagley will take this one. We've had no score in the fourth quarter. We started 3-0 at the end of one. Israel got a late one at the end of the first to take some momentum with them, and then they blew it open with a 6-goal second quarter, led 9-0. And their stars, their experienced players, really performed well. Mac McDonough, 6 goals. Emily Resnick, 4 goals and 2 assists. Allison Kerwin, a sensational all-around game in the draw circle. She finishes 3 goals and 2 more assists among the leaders for Israel. In Jerusalem, the final score 13-2. Israel wins opening night over Germany. We'll be with you on YouTube and on the Olympic Channel through the United States all week long through the championship on July 25th. For my partner Steffi Samaras Mencizeris, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long and good night from Jerusalem until tomorrow and day 2 of the Women's European Lacrosse Championship.
Like it,